Liverpool is a city which now feels vindicated. But the truth about Hillsborough has been followed by a growing momentum to bring individuals and organisations to account. Danny Savage, BBC News, Anfield.
Well, Mike Pannett is a former Metropolitan and Yorkshire police officer who's written books of his experience on the beat. He joins me now from our Leeds studio. Good evening to you. Thanks for being with us.
You're right, Clive.
116 or so police statements out of more than 160 were altered to show South Yorkshire police in a better light at Hillsborough. Yet, in the 23 years since all that happened, not a single whistleblower has come forward. What do you think of that?
Well, first of all, Clive, I'd like to just sort of say, you know, there's 96 grieving families here and their friends and the people of Liverpool and football fans generally. And what's happened at Hillsborough is absolutely shameful. But I've been speaking to police officers up and down the country, from Yorkshire, from Merseyside, from as far away as London and about, you know, what could have happened here, what has actually happened here. And I think it's quite incredible to, and you know, I'm absolutely confident that those frontline officers, those are police officers not only from West Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, beg your pardon, but also there was Merseyside officers there. Nobody, I can tell you now, would sit with 160 officers and say, right, we're going to make a cover-up. Now, from my understanding, and this is going to be absolutely vital, what comes out now, what happened at Hillsborough is the truth. You know, people want to know what happened before the game, what happened during the game, and what happened after the game. With regards to the statements, and I think that's vital, that we get to the bottom of what actually did go on there. And what people have got to be aware of, at that time in the late 80s, early 90s, when police officers, you know, wrote things down in the pocketbooks, if you like, everything got written down from what they felt, what they saw, if you like, hearsay right, and opinion. Now, unfortunately, in those days, when I would imagine, and this is something which the inquiry will look at, is at what point the solicitors and the senior investigation team went through all of that evidence and decided to themselves, well, I think we might just omit this, which shows us in a bad light, and I think we might omit that. So what I don't want to see here, Clive, is those frontline officers used as scapegoats. I think what needs to happen here is those responsible, those officers who were senior at the time, making those decisions, those very people who right, have covered this up, and they need to come to justice, Clive.
Okay, Mike, but what's interesting, I think, is the fact that it was the police union, the secretary of the police union, South Yorkshire Police Federation, who was, according to the Hillsborough report, part of this cover-up. So you might have had 3 or 4 senior officers at the top saying, right, we're going to whitewash this whole thing.
Yeah.
What the effect of having the police federation involved does is spread that conspiracy to the whole of the force. The union was involved. That's shocking to a lot of people.
Absolutely. Look, Clive, there's no doubt that that information and that evidence was there at the time of Lord Justice Taylor when he was looking through it, and the coroner. And I've got to ask these questions, you know, why at the time didn't that come out? Any cover-up moving forward needs to be addressed, including what the Federation at that time, don't forget things have completely changed around now, but what we've got there, and I'm really fed up of hearing it, we must learn lessons, And when I'm talking about our senior officers, Clive, I've been wondering and asking myself the question today, when was the last time a senior officer, sort of chief superintendent and above, at ACPO level actually was demoted or was sacked? I think right through the time, there's always been this sort of looking after people, moving them to the side, moving, jobs sideways, or in fact promoting them, or as we've seen very recently, being paid off. And this is still going on, right through to the riots and right through to the Leatherson
Okay,
inquiry.
so the officers that you've been talking to since the report came out, they're saying, look, the rank and file should not be held or should not be used as scapegoats in this. This has got to go right to the very top.
This has got to go right to the very top, not only right to the very top of the police. What I'm saying about the officers that made those statements, if any of those officers have lied and perjured themselves, and of course they must be held to account. But I don't feel that that's going to come out of this, and I will go on record as saying that. I think what you'll find is it's the senior officers and those that led this inquiry, this shameful inquiry, which people now want the truth for. And when I talk about the truth, it's what happened before the game. Why were those gates opened? Why were there not the gates open onto the field? These are the real questions. Why we didn't get the medical services in there quicker. And don't forget, whilst this unimaginable tragedies taking place, Clive, there's people lying on the floor being resuscitated by police officers, by Liverpool fans, by Forest fans. You know, people were doing the best. You know, all these questions need to be answered, and also what needs to be answered, why Hillsborough at that time, you know, we're looking at the FA here, allowing a game to go ahead in a ground which was clearly substantive, you know, absolutely, really unfortunate, the turnstiles, everything, there were certificates there.
Yeah, it didn't have its
and also that's the
certificate,
council as well, Clive. The council as well, Clive.
Sure.
Now, what I must want to say now is you know, police officers are absolutely walking with a heavy heart here. This investigation doesn't need to wait around now. We need the Attorney General to crack on here, and let's get a proper investigation going.
Okay.
And moving forward, you know, things have completely changed in the way that police officers police them and the way safety is conducted at ground. So this appalling tragedy should, I think, never, ever happen again.
Okay, well, let's sincerely hope so. Mike Pannett, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. Thank you.
Thank you.